Trust is a subject that's gaining more and more interest with each passing year. Can you guess why? Because there's such a huge shortage of it. And it's not only affecting society in general, it's also had a very negative impact on the workplace. So our workshop on trust examines why it's such a rare commodity, the price an organization pays when it's missing, the benefits it can enjoy when it's present, and the behaviors that cause it to diminish or flourish. The place we start is the issue of denial. You see, none of us think that we're part of the problem. We all think the problem is someone else, our boss, our coworkers, upper management. And I'm not just saying that hyperbolically or to be funny. Surveys show that 97% of the population view themselves as trustworthy. Would you agree with that? I highly doubt it. It flies in the face of our personal experience. In fact, surveys suggest the exact opposite. 96% of Americans admit to lying occasionally, 86% say that they've falsified facts on their resume, 75% say they've stolen something from work at least once, 60% admit to cheating, and 40% have lied about being sick in the last 12 months. In spite of these facts, nearly every person that works for your organization, 97%, think they're trustworthy. Now here's the irony. 80% say you can't trust other people. So there's a huge gap between how people perceive themselves and how they perceive others. If we're going to change things in the workplace, we have to admit that regardless of how trustworthy we think we are, chances are very good others view us differently. You see, in past generations, people trusted you until you did something that proved you were untrustworthy. Today, it's just the opposite. People distrust you until you do something that proves you're trustworthy. The purpose of the Power of Trust workshop is to examine the actions required to earn people's trust. It identifies 3 trust-breaking behaviors that we need to avoid and 3 trust-building behaviors we need to develop. Let me take a minute to talk to you about just one of the first trust-breaking behaviors: inconsistency. Inconsistency is the lack of authenticity or dependability, when who you are doesn't match with who you claim to be. Oftentimes we make the mistake of thinking being untrustworthy is about the big things: bold-faced lying, blatant cheating or betrayal, brazenly taking advantage of others. The truth is, a breakdown in trust usually happens gradually over time, by the accumulation of small infractions rather than a single egregious act. Here are the most common examples of inconsistencies. See if you've been guilty of some of them: overcommitting, breaking promises, covering mistakes, withholding information, minimizing problems, making yourself look good, overinflating figures, failing to speak up, having double standards, changing positions, regularly missing deadlines, not responding promptly to emails and voicemails, talking behind people's back. These are the kinds of things we need to pay attention to and to improve on if we want others to trust us. Getting people to take ownership of these common inconsistencies is the first thing we address in the workshop. Learning how to earn the trust of others you work with is the most important factor in driving employee engagement. It all begins by recognizing that others perceive us differently than we perceive ourselves, and doing what we need to do to close the gap. It's a lifelong endeavor, but well worth the effort.